Welcome back to my 25 Days of Christmas Marathon. Today, we're going to be talking about a short film that I'm sure all you guys have seen a million times, the 1964 version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. At its core, this is nearly a perfect encapsulation of Christmas time and what it mainly represents. It has the snow, the lights, the decorations, the presents, people working together, and everything else in between. But for my money, where the film gets off as being as good as it is the simple fact that it's a sweet, feel-good movie. Outside of the set pieces, Reagan and Bass do a good job adding these good messages of be yourself, go after what you want, and also don't judge others off their presentation. The plot is a fairly simple one. They take the well-known Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer song and turn it into a fast-paced film while tying in these good messages and also weaving in a pretty fun adventure story along with many memorable and catchy songs. Due to the fast pace, it doesn't really expand on the character development much or even expanding on all the themes it has, but it certainly helps make the time go by at a brisk pace. When it comes to the animation, it's arguably the star of the show. Sure, in 2024, it looks dated, but for the 60s, the stop animation done with these fun puppets works so well, and for me, the choppiness of the animation just plays into the charm of the film. They very easily could have been lazy, making everything move in a standard note, but I can appreciate the care that went into the way these characters moved, along with the expressions that they had, but I will be honest and say, sometimes it can be absolutely hilarious in the way they make these characters look when they're shocked. With the voice actors on board, I thought they all did a standout job. The voice acting and singing can certainly be a bit dodgy at times, with the minimal range of motion that they had, but overall, each voice actor brought a great personality to their respective characters, while also having really good singing voices, which was a must with the amount of songs in this flick. Rudolph is the obvious star of the show, where he is such an easy protagonist to get behind. He's just so innocent and sweet, where the writers did a really good job giving us a reason to feel bad for him, and also root for him. When it comes to our second protagonist in Herbie, he's fine, I guess. He certainly helps facilitate the plot and juice up the theme of go after what you want, but he's just a bit of a weird character, isn't he? Some of the direction his character had was pretty odd, giving him some strange lines and actions to do. But as for the other characters like the Misfit Toys, Yukon Cornelius, and Clarice, they also served the plot well. Clarice was that sweet love interest that I thought worked well for what it was. It wasn't anything too deep or to get too invested in, but it just gave our main protagonist Rudolph just a little bit more of an edge. As for Yukon, he just adds so much comedy and lightheartedness to the film, where he wasn't totally necessary for the film, but in the same breath, the film wouldn't be the same without him. Now, I don't think this film was bad by any stretch, but it for sure had some mixed aspects. For starters, the messages are definitely good for kids, but in reality, the film can contradict itself. Rudolph really only gets accepted at the end because it benefited everybody else. It wasn't like they now recognize him as a strong leader or anything like that. It was supposed to be because his red nose can cut through and light up the storm. Supposedly. My next issue has to do with the pacing. Firstly, I give it a lot of credit with turning a couple-minute song into a near-hour-long flick, but the pacing was just all over the place. The writing didn't really do it many favors because nothing was fleshed out, while also contradicting itself from time to time. But it's like they would just jump from idea to idea without letting anything breathe, and that leads me into my next issue, and that's the song placements. Again, the songs were all really good, don't get me wrong, but sometimes, and honestly most of the time, they just happen out of nowhere. For example, Rudolph just randomly meets Herbie, and they just start singing in cue straight away. My next issue comes from some of the characters. For starters, Santa's meant to be this jolly soul, right? He's honestly just a dickhead in this film. Then you have all the elves who are nothing but set pieces and absolutely copy and paste of each other, having no originality. And my last issue comes from the Abominable Yeti character. I absolutely appreciated the conflict he brings, but they sold him so short with the amount of opportunity that they had and didn't execute on. And lastly, but most importantly, this film's just a bit weird. Yukon licking his pickaxe, Herbie wanting to be a damn dentist, and just little things throughout the film that can certainly give off a weird vibe. Something tells me they were drinking on the job, but I guess that sort of just plays into the charm of it, doesn't it? Overall, like I said, this movie holds such a near and dear spot in my heart, like I'm sure it does all of you. I'll most likely watch this film to my dying day, but it's certainly not perfect like we thought like when we were kids. I'm gonna let my bias and nostalgia play a role in this. Rudolph gets a 7 out of 10. Let me know what you think of Rudolph in the comments below, and let me know what film you'd like to see me review next. See you guys in the next one.